Hello.
Hello.
Wow. Just I need a moment.
Love you, Anderson.
Yeah. When I was coming, when I was asked to come up here and share a few words with you guys, I did not picture how this gathering is going to be. Yeah. I probably thought it's gonna be very easy, but this room is so scary. Yeah, it is filled with a lot of emotions for me. I'm filled with a lot of emotions. I've seen a lot of good faces, all of you. So bear with me when I stumble to start. I will definitely be fine. Yeah, so first of all, I just want to greet everyone that has come this evening. It is so good to see everyone that has come tonight, and it is wonderful to share this night with everyone. I want to also give thanks to the Lord for making this day possible. Those that were following this journey, it was not an easy one. A lot of struggles with the applications of the visa, struggles coming here, but because of your prayers, finally I'm here. And I want to thank everyone who were praying for us for this day to come. The Lord has answered our prayer once again, like He always does. The other person I would like to thank this moment is the minister. The visa process was not an easy thing. Without the minister's input, I'm sure it would have been very difficult for the visa to be processed in time. So I just want to thank the minister for his special input that made the processing of the visa so possible. Also, I just want to thank, okay, since this is Canada, I would say Mrs. and Mr. Chokias. But if I was at Grace, I would say Uncle John and Aunt Susan. Yeah, for making this plan and for inviting me to come up here and be with you people. I'm so delighted. I got a lot of things to say, and it's a special opportunity that I came up and meet with you fine people. I'm really honored for the opportunity. So some of you might have heard my story. And some of you who come to Zambia, I've told you my story, and but my story doesn't get old to me. The way I feel about it is like studying for an exam. The more you review what you studied, the better you become at it. As a Christian, the more you read about the miracles that God has performed in your past, the stronger your faith. So I always feel honored when I'm asked to share my story. And it encourages me, it humbles me, it makes me stay thankful for who I am today, what I have, the people that are in my life, and what I expect in the future. I'm going to take my time. Please bear with me. I'm not an American or Canadian, so just for you to get me clearly, I need to speak slowly, and I might miss some few words in English, so it's normal. English is not my first language, but I'll try my best. Okay, so some of you might have seen the book, You Too Can Have an Amazing Life. I'm so honored that in one of its chapters, there is a story about Anderson Mambwe, and it's a story that inspires me. The story was very well narrated. It encourages me in the way that another person encourages you using your own story. The whole book is filled with great words and principles, and I get to read it a lot. So if you haven't read the book, if you have not bought the book yet, I would advise that you do so, because the book will change you, will change your life, or it will change the way you relate to the people around you. So I want to start telling you a little bit about my story. So I was born in the northern part of Zambia, in a village very deep in the bush. It was far from any town, such that the villagers would get scared when they hear a sound of a vehicle. They would hide. That's how deep and how bushy the place was. So that day started just like another day, the day I was born. And everything looked normal in that day. People went about their own business. However, from the time I was born, things started to change a little bit for me and my family. So, when I was born as a mystery. My feet were enormous. It was an abnormal formation of a newly born child. Society around me that day called me a half-human being. They called me an abomination, and they tried to advise my parents to cut off my feet or kill me when I was young, because whatever was abominable in society would cause chaos in the society that would affect other people. So when such happens, in those days, they either drowned the child or they took the baby into the bush where they would leave the child to die. Many kids are very fortunate they don't have to go through that process. I wasn't the fortunate one by then, and I almost endured that terrible fate. But where society called me a half-human being, my dad called me his special child. And he refused anybody to touch me, declaring, "This is my son, and it's a gift from God, and I'm going to take care of him." So from that decision that my parents made, they actually received some harsh treatment from society. And we had to move from place to place as my parents were trying to seek for medical help for my health and my condition, and as we also tried to find school for me. So I enrolled in a handicapped school in Mambilima, northern part of Zambia, a school that had only disabled kids. And I felt this was going to be a comfortable place for me, because then I would be like any other child in that school. But no matter how much I tried, my condition was different. My feet were painful, swollen all the time, and I was in a terrible pain. And I was crying most of the time. As a child, I tried to ask God why. Not only did people around me try to find a solution to what happened to me, but also as a child, I tried to find reason why I was born that way. And when I just enrolled in school, a few months later, my dad passed on. He died a very terrible and sudden death, almost too soon to leave us, and particularly me, because he's the one that protected me. And upon his death, the paternal family members came and claimed everything that my father owned, leaving us. I have 4 siblings, and we were left with Mom, and all the responsibility was upon her. When she tried to consult how the family members were going to help me, they said that was her duty. They told her at early age that this child will be a burden, kill her, then he refused. My mom was going to find ways of keeping me alive. So actually, after the death of my father, the burden was big. My mom started working like a slave. She would go into the field early in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning, and she would be coming back around 6 p.m. without food, only carrying water. As I grew, my condition became painful. Very soon, I found myself not doing activities that other kids were doing in society. I used to play football even though my feet were big then, but then I stopped. Because all my feet wanted was to be elevated all the time. And this was a thing that would have affected my academic journey. I would have given up, but then my school had a motto: disability is not inability. Doesn't mean that because you are physically challenged in one way, you have impossibility. No. Because you are physically challenged in one way doesn't mean you can't do things that other people can do. So I was encouraged to see, even if I was in this condition, there was still hope for me. And the only hope that was there available for me is through education. So my mom would make traditional beer, which she would sell to make money for my school. Even with this, it wasn't enough. And most of the time, she would go around churches begging for my help. So when I was at Mambilima, it was a missionary school. So we used to receive missionary doctors from UK, Australia, and other parts of the continent. And these people would usually come and help my friends that were there, especially people with club feet. And when they come, these people, they used to take pictures of everyone. And most of my friends were getting help except me. I longed for my help every time when I prayed, but there was no help for me. All they did was to take pictures of my feet, and they all promised to say, maybe they will find me help, but help never came. Soon I found myself in a very terrible condition because pain had already reached my heart. It was now there 24/7, every time. Whether I go to school, whether I'm eating, or whether I'm sleeping, I would have pain throughout. This pain was so terrible such that I started asking God what His purpose for my life was. Because knowing that God is a loving God, I knew that He wouldn't just leave pain there for me to endure. I thought God had a special plan for me, but it was hard for me to see God's plan in that type of suffering. However, I kept my faith in Him. So, life became unbearable. At certain times I thought of, why not take my own life? At many times I thought, was life really worth living? I started feeling like I was a person walking through a dark tunnel, of which the end you don't know. There was no hope. You don't know if the end of that tunnel has a light or if it has actually the outlet on the other side. Even to make matters worse, people also kept telling my mom and tempting her where she was to forsake me. But thankfully, my mother never listened to them. So, after some times, we received a visitor. So usually when missionaries visit our school, they used to bring candies, and we used to be very happy and chase after them. But at this point, I'd lost interest in everything because all I had to do with was my pen. So when I heard there was a missionary who was coming, I didn't even bother to get out of my room. So a few minutes later, a friend came to call me to say, no, the person that has come wants to see you. I had no intentions of getting off my bed or leaving my books, which is the only thing that I did when pain started. So I left to go and see this visitor who came. At that point, when I saw this person, and like other people that I've seen before, he had compassion, he had sympathy, and when he looked at me, I can tell he shared the pain that I'd felt for so long. And if I had known the future, I would have looked at that stranger and say, here comes the angel from God, who will soon take away the pain that I've suffered for so long. But like many others, he called me by his side, he took pictures of me, then he prayed with me. He asked me to do one thing. He asked me to pray and have faith in God. And after that, he flew back. He did just like other people have done. They've all taken pictures of me, they've encouraged me, and they've gone. So, my pain still remained. I tried to seek any help possible, taking any painkiller that was there, but there was nothing to relieve the pain. A few months later, I was told the good news that the missionary who came to see me wanted me to be transferred to his orphanage. When I heard the news, I could not believe it. I had lost hope in healing at that moment. I never lost faith though. But the faith I had at this point was not faith for healing either. The faith I had is faith in God, hoping for death to find me much quicker, take away my life so that I could go to heaven. Because I knew there wasn't going to be any healing coming. So when I went from Luapula, the northern part of Zambia where I was, to Ndola, to Seeds of Hope, Grace Academy, I was very happy in the way that at least my mom doesn't have to panic herself or worry about my school fees, because I was taught the same orphanage would take care of my education. So when I came to Seeds of Hope, we immediately started visiting hospitals in Zambia. We visited both government and private hospitals whose doctors came from different parts of the world. People from UK, USA, Australia, and I was happy. A little bit of faith in healing started to germinate. But after being seen by different doctors, after assessing the condition, I finally received that was my best news back then. It is the only news I've ever heard. It was the only positive news that I ever heard then. The option was to amputate my legs, both of them above the knees. It did not bother me much that I was going to lose my legs, because I knew keeping my legs was more painful than losing them. At one point, I used to admire friends that were pushing themselves on a wheelchair. I would admire people laying in coffins being taken to the grave. At least they never had pain. But I was with pain. So when that option came up, when everyone else was worried about the amputation, for me that was the best news and the most positive news I've ever had in my life. However, Uncle John was troubled at this option that I had been left with. I didn't know this, and I was happy telling everyone, I'm preparing for my surgery, this and that, they're gonna cut my legs. I even started practicing how to swing on a wheelchair. Yes, I started practicing how to swing on a wheelchair without legs. I did not know that someone somewhere there was spending sleepless nights asking help wherever it may be found, seeking for alternatives or options that were better than the one that I had. I soon discovered that instead of having my operation done in Zambia, I was going to go to the USA. And some people told me to say, you are going to the USA so that you can get prosthetic treatment. After the amputation, you can be walking on stills and be just like any other person. Still, I was happy. So, the journey was arranged, and when I reached USA, I was there for 9 months, where a corrective surgeries were done. And finally, for the first time, I had hope of putting on shoes. I was the only person among other disabled kids that suffered hell on earth, because the summer heat, which heated the ground, bent my feet as I was walking. I had never wore shoes before. And I never had a taste of what it feels to put my feet into the shoes. When I heard this news, I was speechless. So many believers were praying for me, and God answered the prayers of so many people within here. Others are not here. And the God who is greater than our challenges performed this miracle for me. The surgery left me with the possibility of wearing shoes, and I remained with minimal or manageable pain. So, without seeds of hope, I would have never worn shoes in my life. When I came back, I knew what I wanted to do after high school. I had been given so much. I had been inspired by so many heroes, nurses, doctors, church members that were praying for me, the people that sacrificed so much for me to receive this good health. I chose the career of medicine not because I was smart. I chose the career of medicine because I know how it feels to be in pain. I chose this career not because of any other thing, because I knew what it feels to be a patient, and I know what a patient needs. At least I would contribute and help my patients smile again. So, I wanted so much to sum up my story, because it is not so much of the main reason why I'm here today. I want to get to the point why I'm here today. I'm here today so that I can personally be able to talk to you about the change that you are making in our lives. I'm here so that I can personally thank you for your prayers and for how you have supported this ministry. If I look at my life, when I think of the things that God has done for me, I feel to believe of the things that God has done. I am this person who was rejected by the family members, especially those from my father's side. When I was born, I was called different names. When I was born, I faced a lot of questioning within the society. Was I a normal child? Was I going to live? Was I going to bring curse upon everyone? I had lived a life which never had a hope. It was just me walking through the tunnel, doing the routine thing of life. But someone came to find me how God arranged this, I don't know, but it is a kind of thing where I was, the possibility of it happening was so small. So, without seeds of hope, right now, if I ask myself, where would I be without seeds of hope? Definitely I would have died. A point would have reached where I might have given up. Maybe if waiting for God's death wouldn't have come, who knows, maybe I would have taken my own life. But I thank God that help came. And it was because of seeds of hope. It's because of your giving that made a difference. So, how has seeds of hope changed my life? So, ever since I came under the care of Seeds of Hope, I've learned the value of family that are united through the love of Christ. I've learned the power of faith that knows no doubts. I've learned how to love, because what Seeds of Hope have done is they have shown me unconditional love. They've shown us that beyond the race, beyond circumstances, beyond the diseases that we suffer, and beyond nationality, these people have sacrificed their good health, and they have risked, you have risked to come to Africa so you could, so you could share the love of Christ with us. Like the Bible says in the book of Psalm 133, Psalm 113, verses 7, where God was talking about raising us who were rejected as the sons of the earth. I have been given so much, and I've been raised from poverty, from dust and pain, hopelessness, and from ashes. I have been set to be on a place that I never thought was possible. I was sent to a medical school in Zambia. This school only accommodates rich people. That's where the sons and the daughters of rich people go to. But that is where your love has led me to. You have transformed our lives because of your love. You have given us a smile. At Seeds of Hope, we are given good health, a good education. And a good education is a good tool of which we can fight poverty. We are loved and accepted as we are. If you see the picture of Priscilla, I don't know if the video is available. I want to tell you what the little girl was saying. I want to tell you what we are saying to society. So, Seeds of Hope has accepted us. You have loved us just like we are. So, the little Priscilla is singing the song to the society. She's saying, just as I am, accept me as I am, without the eyes, without the head, without the nose, just as I am. Just as I am, accept me as I am, without the eyes, without the nose, without the head, just as I am. That's a cry to the society. A lot of children that are rejected, they sing the same song. We are crying to the society to accept us as we are. Whether you are born a disabled child, whether you are born with HIV, whether you are born with any other difficulties, however the society has rejected us. We have cried, society, I need you. Society, you also need me, even just as I am, but the society has abandoned us. It has taken the love of people from afar to come and love us. It has taken you people to show us what it really means to be loved, truly. At Grace, we are raised to love the Lord, to be prayerful, and to love one another. When I came to Grace, I thought I would never fit in, just like I've never been able to fit in any place in the society. My mom, when she was taking me to school, she would put me in a basket because my legs were heavier to be carried while my legs are hanging. So she would put me in a basket and tie it on a carrier. And I received a lot of mockery from people. People called me all sorts of things. They called me a goat because only a goat could be carried in a basket, not a human being. I've received unkind words before, and I learned to live with them. On the contrary, when Seeds of Hope found me, all I have received is the words of encouragement. The word of encouragement. I have received love. I have received education. And I have received everything that I need. Seeds of Hope, I understand you cannot bring back our parents. And I understand you are not putting yourselves in a position to replace them. But you have given us everything our parents would have wanted us to have. And you do even much more. I have soon learned that basically the way you show your love for us, I have learned that a family is not only the people whose blood you carry. A family is a people who loves you, who accepts you, who cherish you, we encourage you. It's a type of people who you love and they love you back. That's a family. Seeds of Hope, all you are to us is a family. The family that society out there refused to be. We were thrown, some people are taken from the pits. Some babies are shunned, left in the hospitals to die. Rejected. But Seeds of Hope, you have accepted us. When I look at what Seeds of Hope has done in my life, in the university where I am, I have seen children who has both parents not managing to continue or finish to pursue college studies or be able to have good health or go to a good clinic or have good meals. But us, who are sponsored by you, Seeds of Hope, we are able to receive all this. Seeds of Hope, you've not just been our sponsors, you have gone an extra mile to be our able parents. And we are so lucky and thankful God sent you to us. From people whom society considered and still considers half human beings, Seeds of Hope, you have transformed us. You have made us into beautiful and valuable people. You've made us feel unique and special. When people ask, or when I ask myself, how would my life be without Seeds of Hope? How would the life of the kids who are at Grace be without Seeds of Hope? Here's the answer. All of them would have died. All of them would have died. So, Seeds of Hope, your giving is sustaining us. When you look at this picture, you see the person that is on that picture, and you see the person that is standing here in front of you. You can tell the difference. And you people, you go extra miles. Some of you are still going to be that John Jokias who goes an extra mile. I'm sure if there wasn't people that gives an extra mile, there wouldn't have been resources that came to locate me in the village. If you people did not give, Uncle John wouldn't have come to the village to fetch me. The truth is, there are a lot of Anderson out there who need a John Chokias. I want to thank you for what you are doing. I want to assure you that it's making a difference. And on behalf of everyone, the children at Seeds of Hope, I'm here to thank you for your giving. And I pray that may God continue to lead you and to open your hearts and to bless your families. May God bless you all.